Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. To start things off, most larger cap alternative coins have charted slight losses since yesterday. Bitcoin has managed to sustain its price around $11,400. Apart from a brief spike to above 11,500, Bitcoin has remained relatively calm, around 11,400 in the past 24 hours. Many altcoins have minor losses, not super intense, but they are definitely down. Ethereum is down to 380, and XRP is roughly around 25 cents depending on the hour that you're looking at the chart. As reported yesterday, Bitcoin traded around 11,400 despite a call for additional economic stimulus. In the past 24 hours, Bitcoin initiated a leg up towards its daily high of 11,550. However, the increase was short-lived, and Bitcoin headed quickly south. In the following hours, the primary cryptocurrency charted its intraday low at $11,300. As it stands right now in the cryptocurrency space, there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of unknowns, there's a lot of variables, and no one really knows where things are headed next. The news that's also out there right now when it comes to, financial pricing news, for those of you not looking at the screen, it says Dow futures nearly 300 points lower as Wall Street struggles to bounce from a 2-day slide. If we are indeed in some way correlated to the stock market, well, therefore, this is why our market is going down. Within the actual cryptocurrency space, within the cryptocurrency news space, everything we've gotten over the last 3.5 months has been hyper bullish. I'm going to get into a couple of more things as the video goes on, of course, but Bitcoin's price should not be as low as it is, and neither should the rest of the cryptocurrency market. I'm chalking it all up simply to uncertainties in all different types of markets and all different types of things. That's the only thing that I could logically think of right now. It has nothing to do with bears and bulls. It has nothing to do with all these other things or these other charts. The entire crypto, you've been here. You've seen what the news has been like for Bitcoin and adoption and accumulation, and it's clear that our prices should be far higher right now. I think I only saw one article discussing or talking about that they believed, at least today, that Bitcoin is looking like, after a little mini dip that we had, like about 12 hours ago, that it looks poised to start rocketing up. But of course, we'll see if that happens when it happens. And without further ado, I'm actually really shocked, not to make a joke, but I'm actually pretty shocked that this guy is wearing this outside, this color. If you live in the States, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And without further ado, let's move on. In what should be unsurprising news, Russia has been quite stern with Bitcoin use right from the start, and unqualified crypto purchases or illegal Bitcoin possession was dealt with very strictly. The situation remained the same until cryptocurrency regulations and the intelligence claim of partial surfaced. Why can't I read that? De-anonymizing. I got it. There we go. With the recent introduction of digital assets in Russian law, wherein cryptocurrencies have been legalized as a type of property, financial bodies have proposed stricter laws around digital financial assets. The country's finance minister seeks to adhere to heavy penalties and criminal charges upon non-disclosure of digital assets. Since cryptocurrency is currently not legalized as a mode of payment, a violation could lead to serious legal action. The other part is right here. The monetary regulator, or the Central Bank of Russia, is now seeking to limit unqualified crypto purchases. Purchases above $7,700 would be banned. The directive is specifically for unqualified investors, and while it is under public discussion until the 27th of October, it is expected to be effective by the beginning of January of next year. I do not believe, and neither should any of you, that this is going to be put up for a public vote or a public discussion. You should know why. No proposition for qualified investors has been revealed currently, and they are open to digital investment based on foreign laws. If you were here around 2018, we had a lot of news like this already. So like I said, this should not be a shock or a surprise to anyone out there. One of the first proposed laws for Russia in the cryptocurrency spotlight had to do with the fact that anyone who was not rich would not be able to even own cryptocurrency. That was the first proposed law. I think it was you had to be a qualified investor to be able to touch any of it. And then that was modified and changed it to something else, but it seems we've come full circle back to where we were. And if I remember correctly, the other law, I think the secondary law of the if you're poor law, you can't touch it, came down to the fact that I think you were able to only purchase around $6,000 worth of Bitcoin over the course of an entire year. Any more than that, and you face criminal charges. So, yeah. I mean, how much more blatant do you have to be that you allow rich people to kind of do whatever they want, but also like you make sure that other people don't get rich. You make sure that they stay exactly in their lane. Like, yeah, that's sure. You were able to buy $7,000 worth of Bitcoin, but I was able to buy as much as I possibly wanted. Like anybody else who would potentially have the chance of becoming wealthy or very well off from being able to get into the cryptocurrency space will never be able to do so, because I mean it's terrible. I'm not going to say any more, but if you have a heart, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, without further ado, like imagine someone telling you that you and your family can't own a home, you can't own a house, you can't own an apartment. You're legally able to pay rent. That's totally fine, but you can never own anything. Now imagine someone telling you in your country, if you buy too much crypto, you will get arrested. All right, without further ado, let's move on. In also unsurprising news, more than half of Ethereum circulating supply has not moved in more than a year, with only 39% of Ether changing hands over the past 12 months. According to Glassnode's HODL Waves, terrible name, which offers a chronological breakdown of the velocity of on-chain transactions, roughly 28% of Ether last moved between the past 12 and 24 months, comprising the largest segment of on-chain activity, and there's a little colorful little chart right there. The data suggests that many whales spent 2019 accumulating Ether in advance of Ethereum's 2.0's coming to life, for which Phase 0 is expected to commence in the coming months. I think it's like 5 or 6 weeks, allowing users to stake their Ether for the first time. Around 20% of tokens have not moved since October 2017, with analysts watching to see if a percentage of these coins are moved into staking with the rollout of Phase 0. So the entire idea, first of all, logically, a large amount of Ether hasn't moved in a very long time. People are simply accumulating it because if we are all expecting some type of a bull run, a massive movement in price, why would we sell right now? The second part is people are looking to see if these coins that haven't moved in the last couple of years are going to start moving once staking activates, initiates, or when people are able to do so. I plan on staking, and I know many other people plan on doing that as well. It's going to be the only way to make new coins on the network. So why would I not take part in essentially getting free money for the money that I already have? And also, especially once again, if that burn mechanism is actually activated on Ethereum and there's mathematically no new coins, air quote, being added to the system because they're only being accumulated by the people who are staking, why would you not stake? Yeah, I mean, it's also bullish because people are accumulating, et cetera, but I mean, we've seen tons of accumulation news, and it really does nothing for the market because I think people are once again just fixated on where the prices are going to go. I think if people really understood the amount of Bitcoin and Ether that are being accumulated, whether it be for, in general, world currency potential speculation, or because people want to be able to stake and make tons of money. Like all the news that we were getting before about all the companies who were buying up tons of Bitcoin, I'm pretty sure a lot of them have been doing that as well for Ether. You don't need tons of mega computers anymore. Like you'll be able to simply have the Ether on your laptop. Imagine having enough Ether that you can put it into your laptop, it's staking, And every month or every week or whatever, you get this payout of Ether. It becomes your passive income and you can simply just travel around the world. It's like all these things are now possible, but I think the only people who are really paying attention are the wealthy people who are just going to become wealthier as the prices of these coins continue to rise. Anyway, that's the Ethereum news. I think that's all the Ethereum news. Yep, that's all the Ethereum news. And without further ado, we're going to move on. In also, I guess, logical news, Bitcoin traders and investors may face a supply deficit as major firms increase their stockpiling of the cryptocurrency. This is according to Dan Taperio of New York-based global macro fund DTAP Capital. He said shortages, it's all in caps, shortages of Bitcoin is possible. The founder tweeted on Thursday, Barry Silbert's Grayscale Investment Trust is eating up Bitcoin like there is no tomorrow. If 77% of all newly minted coins turns into 110%, then it's lights out. Can any of you just imagine what this man is talking about? I hope there's a chart because you'll see it. The statement came after Grayscale released its third quarter financial report. The New York firm stated that it has amassed around $1 billion worth of cryptocurrencies for its investment products. Its benchmark public share, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, has received the top portion of the said massive inflow of about $720 million US. Meanwhile, a yearly outlook of Grayscale's financial reports show that it's raising its Bitcoin purchases against its mining supply rate every quarter. For instance, in the first quarter of this year, the beginning of this year, they bought 27% of all newly minted Bitcoin. That figure surged to 70% around summertime and is currently around 77%. Here's the chart right here. For every newly minted Bitcoin, Grayscale owns or purchased 1/4 of all of them. Around summertime, every time a new Bitcoin was minted, they had 7 out of 10 of those Bitcoin. It's now 77%. This is just Grayscale alone. That's why the person said if that 77% turns into 110%, which I believe that it's going to probably by January, Grayscale will be accumulating more Bitcoin than anything else on this planet. And we get news like this. We have figures. You can go to the Grayscale website. You can see that all this stuff is actually true. And then the price doesn't really react. I mean, we were talking about all this before. We know that people who are doing stuff to the prices and they know how to control it to make sure that the price doesn't go up so that they can accumulate more. But I know there's at least one person out there who understands I'll even use the word severity of all of this and how insane this actually is. Remember when we got the news earlier this year when 14,000 Bitcoin had just been minted or mined or created and Grayscale bought 19,000 of them? And I was like, why is no one paying attention? 77% of all newly mined Bitcoin is going to them. And I assume all the other coins that have already been mined that are kind of just out there are going to the other major mega companies. I don't even think, one of my big ideas for a very long time was that we would see huge amounts of adoption once some country financially collapsed. And they would be forced to pretty much raise their flag and go, I'm sorry, we have to accept Bitcoin. Bitcoin's now our thing. That country would go about accumulating around 20,000, 30,000 Bitcoin, and that would be their new basis for the money that they're going to be putting out. But I don't even think that much Bitcoin is going to be actually around for them to be able to accumulate. Do you understand? Like, imagine, I can't even put it into words. Mr. Tapiro saw it as a sign of potential shortage in the future. Bitcoin's total supply stands at just 21 million. So far, miners have mined about 18 million. Atop that, Bitcoin's tendency to reduce its supply by half every 4 years ensures that there will be less of it available in the open market. Let's not forget about the actual 6 million that are lost and gone forever. And the millions that are being accumulated by the richest people on the planet. Like, it's not like, if we got news like this like every 8 months, I would go, wow, those are numbers. That's crazy. But this is every single day. The news that we had yesterday is that other company, they put $110 million. That was yesterday. And that wasn't even us talking about Grayscale. It was the 110 million. It was the 425 million company. And then it was Square. And then it was some other mega entity who also bought tons of Bitcoin as well. Anyway, this will have no effect on the price, like zero. Not now. In the future, people are going to look back and go, wow, if only I had paid attention. This is nuts. Do you understand the capital allocation? Like, think, why isn't this money flowing into stocks? If stocks aren't doing well, and we keep getting news, I know you've seen it because I've definitely seen it, of the nonsense of people talking about that we're headed towards a V-shaped recovery for stocks. Where? If we were actually headed towards a V-shaped recovery, these billions of dollars would have flown exclusively into stocks, and these people would be richer than their wildest imagination. But they're putting it all into Bitcoin. Increasingly. More and more every day. Anyway, that's the Bitcoin shortage news. I think I'm going to throw a party whenever the market actually has some type of logic, because there's zero right now. In one of my favorite news stories of the day, DeFi protocol Uniswap is currently undergoing its first governance vote, but members of the community have noticed that the whales are largely in control of it. The initial proposal was made by DeFi lending and trading platform Dharma, which is one of the largest Uni token holders. In order to make governance more accessible, Dharma wanted to reduce the current proposal submission threshold from you need to have 10 million Uniswap tokens, which is 1% of the total supply, to 3 million, or 0.3% of the total supply. Wow, that's wonderful. So you only need 3 million Uni tokens to be able to vote. The second part of the proposal was to decrease the quorum threshold from 40 million Uni, wow, or 4% of the total supply, to just 3%. Wow, that's so gracious of them. Industry observers have pointed out that this would give the majority of the voting power to the two top token holders, which are Dharma and another blockchain platform called Gauntlet. Some have even launched a campaign to encourage others to vote against it. I wonder why. The vote will continue until the 20th of October, but it appears that the top two delegating addresses, which hold about 15 million Uni each, have dominated the process with around 98% of the votes. 98% of the votes. So yeah, I like it because I think people are probably not, coming to the conclusion that DeFi actually isn't DeFi. It's always controlled by a small party. What was the other coin? It wasn't Uniswap. What was the other one we were talking about? Where only Binance was mathematically able to vote? Decentralized. Everyone has a stake in it. This is part of the reason why a lot of people backed away from EOS. Because the entire idea for EOS was that, yeah, everyone gets a vote, but only the 21 block producers really have a say in everything. So, I mean, at least that one's 21. This one's 2. And the other one is 1. Like, even in a perfect scenario, you would still only have 100. Like, how many people are probably own some type of Uniswap? Anyway, I like this story a lot. It makes me really happy because it just shows how ridiculous all of this stuff actually is. Anyway, that's the Uniswap news. And without further ado, let's move on. Mt. Gox is in the news, of course. The submission deadline for the Mt. Gox rehabilitation plan has been extended yet again. Mt. Gox's rehabilitation trustee, Nobuaki Kobayashi, today announced that the rehabilitation plan of the now defunct crypto exchange would be shared on the 15th of December. The deadline has been pushed back several times. Kobayashi has been devising the rehabilitation plan for more than a year. Today, the trustee said, as there are matters that require closer examination, with regard to the rehabilitation plan, it becomes necessary to extend the submission deadline. Mt. Gox has been going on for far too long. I wish it would just end. It's at this point a little pointless. I went over this before, a couple of days ago. Quickie. Mt. Gox was a cryptocurrency exchange. It got hacked. Some of the coins got saved. They've been trying to figure out how to get the coins that they saved back to the people who lost those coins during the actual hack or whenever the blah, blah, blah actually ended up taking place. Part of the problem is, for those of you not looking at the screen, it says Mt. Gox rehabilitation plan again pushed by 3 months. This is March 31st, 2020. This one says Mt. Gox rehabilitation plan deadline extended again. This is October 31st, 2019. And this one says Mt. Gox creditor update required by the 22nd of October, 2018. This has been pushed back for years. I don't think anyone really cares anymore. It's also a little weird. The entire idea is that if you had a claim to any of the coins, which a lot of people have claimed that they have, that you'd be able to simply go to this person, Kobayashi, and say, hey, some of those are my coins. Not exactly sure why it's taken years to do all this or for people to kind of come forward. I mean, realistically, Mt. Gox happened in 2013 or 2014. I think 6 years is a pretty long time as a warning for someone to give you to be able to be like, hey, dude, you got free money over here. Do you want some? Oh, you don't want your free money? Okay, I'll ask you again in 3 months. Anyway, a lot of the fear is that these coins will simply be dumped back onto the market. But at this point, they never will because, these people are never going to get their money back because the submission deadline is always extended. And even more so, think about this. That's the submission for the actual thing. If you want to say, hey, I have coins that were on there, that's December, which means that these coins probably won't be tried once again to get back to their original owners until like July. And then I assume by next June, we're going to get more news that the deadline was pushed back once again. Because do these coins actually exist at this point? I don't think these coins are actually even around. I have a very strange... I'll take my tinfoil hat off. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. It was in the corner. It's gone. Because I was going to say some stuff because, I'd be asking questions. I'm like, hey, you guys say you have my money. Can you show me that you have my money? Because 6 years is a pretty... Let's move on. And to finish things off, Litecoin is preparing, allegedly, to collaborate with Cardano on cross-chain interoperability. According to a blog post from David Schwartz, project director at the Litecoin Foundation. Isn't David Schwartz the same guy from Ripple? Or am I thinking of another name? I'm pretty sure David Schwartz is the exact same name. Or is it like Mikey Schwartz? Schwartz says that Charles Hoskinson, creator of Cardano, invited Litecoin creator Charlie Lee to collaborate on blockchain interoperability in July. I think we read that all together. Yeah, he was like, it would be cool if we did some stuff. Come over to my house. Since then, Schwartz has had several conversations with the Cardano team on that collaboration on what it would achieve. He says that the fork would allow cross-chain payment settlements between Cardano and Litecoin. It would also improve Litecoin scalability and introduce support for smart contracts. The proposed upgrade would be known as a Velvet fork because it is neither a hard fork nor a soft fork. Instead, it is optional and there is no need for consensus. Miners would be able to continue serving the Litecoin network whether they install the upgrade or not. The fork uses a system called non-interactive proofs of work, or NIPOPOS. That's what it says. It says NIPOPOWS. That, among other things, allows blocks to be verified across different blockchain networks. And then down here, apparently, people in the Litecoin community don't like it. They're telling people, well, if Litecoin has to do it, you should be doing the exact same thing, because I think it's supposed to only be done on Litecoin to start supporting Cardano. And people are saying, well, why doesn't Cardano simply do it to start supporting Litecoin? We'll see if this happens. Apparently, it's in the works. They're talking it out. Who knows what's going to happen, but I don't know. Sure, why not? Does anyone want this, care about this? I think it would be kind of cool if all the chains were simply interoperable, if we didn't have to use cryptocurrency exchanges anymore, if we could just simply swap the coins, kind of like what was promised in 2013 and 14, which we still don't have. But I mean, yeah, this is kind of cool. Sure. We have a brand new fork type, Velvet fork, because, you know, you got to keep making up new phrases in this space. You know, people are tired of the word hard fork and soft fork and demi fork and light fork. Now it's a Velvet fork, because what else? I mean, you know, all the fake words that people keep making in this space. Anyway, And I'm waiting. I'm waiting for somebody to tell me in the comment section that I'm wrong, that Velvet Fork is actually a thing, and they're surprised how I don't know what Velvet Fork is. I remember a couple years ago, I said something in the channel, and somebody was like, "You've never heard of quadratic And I was like, "Have you ever heard of that?" And they like explained it to me, and I was like, "Wow, that's great that you know what the inside of a computer looks like." As an investor, I don't have to open up computers to know what all the microchips are called. Anyway, let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Tolek Banan, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain Decentralized Peter, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Storio, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohammed Maroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network. Woo! Crypto Artist, Coldly 3D, Damien Setsuna, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangela, Vody, Anthony Charles, Jim Garner, Jamie Fox, Minting Coins, Miller, Hishes, Everyday, and Kyle Skips Leg Day. Yes to Crypto, Bodie McButtface, Anytime Fitness, Monks Corner Staff, Arfmedic17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my other channels. And thank you to everyone who is a clicker of affiliate links. At the moment, Bitcoin is currently down by 0.77%. This is a big spike right here. I don't know if you can see it. There was a huge spike. What is this? 18, about 20 hours ago. I guess that is part of the... Remember the news that we had yesterday that Bitcoin was looking like it was gearing up for a very big move? I guess that was it. That was part of the big move, and something spooked it. I assume it must be, after everyone has been telling me that there is a clear correlation between us and the stock market, that maybe the stock market has been dragging us down. It could be a lot of things. It could be wash trading. It could be a multitude of things that could be happening within the cryptocurrency space. I guess for the long term, the most important thing is to simply, for me, look at the adoption and the accumulation of the assets to know where prices will eventually go. But this is quite dramatic of a drop. We're not down, but we're still a little down from where we were 24 hours ago. Of course, the altcoins are also, do I use the word suffering? They're also going down a bit because Bitcoin is going down. That's just how it works. Yeah, so, and Uniswap is down by 11%. I would like to believe that that's because of logic. I would love to believe that that's because of logic, but I'm pretty sure just because the market is going down that it's also been affected. ABBC coin is up by almost 50%. On $84 million of trading volume, and you know that's an enormous amount of trading volume. So, anyway, I do hope that you all enjoy. I hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.